Hello guys, I'm Fizzy and welcome back to another race in the Apex Online Racing GT3 Elite League. This is the 5th round of Season 4 and for this one we are at the very infamously difficult circuit of Bathurst, aka Mount Panorama in Australia. And it's a place we haven't visited before in this league, so it's the first time that these drivers will be testing themselves in the GT3 cars around this track. Just to note, we had some issues during the event with some major lag apparently happening in the first attempt at this race, so it was decided in the heat of the moment to do a second start of the race, meaning the qualifying was also rerun for a second time. Unfortunately, in hindsight, didn't exactly help a great deal, but that's how it is. Either way, we're going to take you through the qualifying results first of all, and the Bentley being super fast around this circuit, with its drivers occupying the first 3 spots on the grid with Khaki on pole ahead of Ginger S and Mini Black. Then a couple of Aston Martins, TonyR out qualifying the championship leader F1 Masa, now also known as SDL Masa, and behind them Papand Jellyfish today making his debut in the Audi, meaning we have 9 different cars on the grid now for the first time in history in this league. And then the Cadillacs of Andrex UK and Pedro RC99 rounding up the top 10. You can then see the Mercedes drivers of Ycoms, Silver Arrow and Nostra occupying the places between 11th and 14th, split by Centro in the BMW Z4. Nesterovic again a little bit lower than usual in 15th. And then at the back of the field, Tipple and Brownski both not setting a lap time in the qualifying. And now, as usual, to take you through the race, here is live commentary with myself and Yorkie. Almost. But here we are on the grid for take 2, as we already got a laggy car, that's not a good sign. But full grid, 24 cars on the grid here around Bathurst in Australia. Super challenge for these guys. And once again, the lights are out. And I'm just going to retire.
Oh. 1 or 2 slow starts. It looks like there's a load of contact in and amongst at the start of the race.
Oh, roofs coming together there. It's a mess already. This is earlier than the first time. And Masters down in 14th. What has happened there? It's even worse. It's 3 wide going down the straight in the midfield. What is going on here? I think that's AJ in the middle or on the left. Oh, there's contact. That's flying up. I can't see much from this angle with AJ right now. Here we go. Master spins it. It's taken out the Mercedes. It's all messy. This is not good whatsoever. This is even worse. I mean, I don't know if this is caused by lag, but we have a Mercedes Silver Arrow flying into the wall. The roughs crashing into each other at the back. It's all gone wrong for several cars there. And
a lot of cars with a lot of damage.
We got TonyR and Masa, the 2 Aston Martins, running with damage to the front of their cars down in the midfield right now. They're still going though. Don't know if you can see if anyone stopped out of on the track.
Not entirely sure. I've just picked up the leaders for the moment. Khaki, well, all the Bentleys are romping away off into the distance. Yeah. Andrex is in 4th. Manu today is up in 5th position. He's benefited. Martin van der Bent is up in 6th. He's up in 6th. Did he not start towards the back? I'm not entirely sure. I would have thought
so, seeing as he joined late in qualifying. So he must have just driven through all the carnage and somehow got himself up there. In 6th position. That is incredible scenes.
I was going to say the 3 Aston Martin drivers really suffering from that. With Jellyfish in 11th, who's trying to go around the outside of AJ, has actually gone to onto the grass and into the gravel. He's got TonyR coming right up along the outside of him. Hopefully this is not going to be a repeat of last time. Jellyfish holding onto the car and keeping it just about on the track, but he's got TonyR diving into the pits behind him. Massive dives into the pits behind him as well. Both of them probably suffering severe damage. It certainly looks like it in the state that their cars are currently in. So
huge for the championship. Masa into the pits.
Yeah, that's playing very nicely into Kaki's hand. Vice Guy's up in 14th. I believe we've got another pitter as well. Brownski's up in 16th. Tipple in 18th. Blue Rat 19th. Nesterovic down in 20th position. Macau pulling over in 21st. Silver Arrow pulling into the pits in his Mercedes. Rat and Rudy diving into the pits as well. And then someone has lost connection somewhere along the line. There's 23 drivers now.
Today, his debut is gained a little bit from the restart.
Oh, Martin van der Bent has just spun in the downhill section. The first part, he's just parked the car to the right-hand side. Or actually, no, that might have been lag. That could have been him just disconnecting now, just completely lost him altogether.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're down to 22 drivers.
Yeah, so Martin van der Bent dropped from the scoreboard. I'm not sure what other driver dropped out. It's all very chaotic here at Bathurst for the first few laps. I think we might have a move going on with Andrex defending from today now down the back straight. Today's going to have the tighter run through the nearly flat out kink before the chicane, and he had to back out there. It's a tricky one in these cars to go side by side, I think, because now the car wants to understeer, especially when you take the tight line. It wants to understeer over to the back to the left side of the track, but when you've got another car on the side by side with you there, you kind of have to carry a lot less speed in order to not hit into that car. And yeah, today forced to back out, and Andrex still retaining 4th position. We got Jinder now pulling away from Mini Black. Those two were quite close together at the end of the first lap, but Jinder now settling into slightly better pace. Kaki once again, as he did in the first race, romping away in the lead. There's a Bentley 1-2-3 that's going to do them wonders for the championship, and proving the predictions true, I guess, with the Bentleys with the turbo engine, with the advantage of this track being quite high above sea level.
Centro's up in 6th position in the Z4. Jellyfish making a nice move down the inside there of, I believe...
From wide though, he's lost out again. Nostra taking us straight back. Yes, Jellyfish went deep on the brakes and he stopped it.
He's got a penalty, cut track penalty.
Of course,
if you do run out a little bit too wide out there onto the grass, he will pick up a time penalty, so he's lost... Well,
that's a huge penalty. That must be more than 5 seconds. That must be a huge penalty 15. Given to him by the game there. He's still slowing down. That is insane. He's going to have the group coming down. We got a pitter, the Mercedes. Oh, and Jellyfish decides to actually jump into the pits as well there. That's a very last-minute decision. Ycoms following him in. So I don't know. That must. Do you think that's damaged? I mean, those two cars don't really look damaged to me.
Jellyfish must have had a penalty, but it must have been big. That's the only reason
why
would
he
I
pitted?
think dive in. Possibly trying to cancel out the penalty. Also, if he does have any damage, try and repair that.
Yeah.
Possibly, it looks like he's going to go for a fresh set of tyres.
Holy shit!
Come on, Fizzy.
Sorry about that, but that was Tipple going very hard into the wall through turn 4. Very difficult braking sound into there. And then Nesterovic, as he's trying to pass him, goes into the wall on the left-hand side. But they're both carrying the speed and going to continue on. TonyR behind him, still with that damaged-looking car. Where is Marta now, actually?
He's
a
few positions.
Bias guy with huge contact with the wall as well.
Yep.
Everyone is cutting it very close with the wall right now. It's hard to not do it, to be honest, because even if you're trying to take it easy, it's easy to just misjudge the turn-in or the throttle applications ever so slightly, and you can't make a tiny mistake around there. Well, you're gonna, even the tiniest mistakes do get punished when the walls are this low. So this trio of Nesterovic, Tipple and TonyR running nicely close together. TonyR getting a much better exit on the straight. That was very, very brave on the grass, keeping his foot in completely, going around Tipple there. And he might even get a chance to pass Nesterovic. Just passes straight past him. Wow, that is huge. And Nesterovic under pressure from Tipple, potentially into the chicane. Nesterovic later on the brakes. It looked like he started braking pretty early, but then clearly lifted off and kind of got himself ahead of Tipple into the corner. So Massa is, of course, the man ahead of them. He's now in 10th position, still big for the championship, of course. We remember TonyR and Massa have both pitted, so I think that they have actually repaired the damage they have. It's just that the spectator mode hasn't updated it graphically for us.
Yep. I was just going to quickly say Maisie and Vice Guy dived into the pits, and as Vice Guy dived into the pits, he went over a little bumper, a little curb, and he's gone and lost the rear bumper there. Fell off the back. Pedro's down in 14th. He was way up the field earlier, so not a good start by him, but I think, judging by the top speed of Nesterovic down that previous straight, he's got some damage because Tony just absolutely breezed past, and Tipple was able to close up to the back of his car with some relative ease, even in the Z4, so yeah, possibly some aero damage for Nesterovic, which isn't good. Massa in 10th, closing up onto the back of Brownski as they come over the top of the mountain.
Battle of the two champions in the league, of course. Brownski, the Season 1 champion, Massa, the Season 2 and 3 champion.
Indeed. Now diving down the other side of the mountain there, looked like Massa got a little bit squirrely under braking, but has managed to keep the car pointing in the right direction and out of the walls. There's good stuff there. I imagine that F1 Massa is probably going to be able to pass Brownski coming down this straight. The top speed of that Z4 isn't too great, whereas the top speed of the Aston is a lot better with a much more powerful V12 engine. He's picking up the slipstream now. We come down the straight. Massa, although it looks like he's got a lot of damage, will have repaired that, and he's now going for the inside move if he's coming to the chase. Brownski backing out of the throttle and just letting F1 Massa slide past to avoid losing too much time and risking any contact between those two drivers. So Massa up into 9th on a recovery drive. He's got a fair bit of a gap to Nostra, who's just pitted in 8th position. Will he come out in front of Massa? I don't think.
Might be close.
It's going to be very close. Very close.
Yo, Massa and Brownski coming around turn 1 now. Nostra is going to have a worse exit, of course, with that pit entry being a lot tighter. And Massa and Brownski, just about Brownski, getting ahead of Nostra there as he came out of the pits. Nostra might get the slipstream maybe, though, up the hill, down towards turn 2 in the Mercedes, which should be faster on the straight as well, but not close enough. So yeah, Nostra joining that battle. I might try to just hang on to the back of those guys now, as Massa will be looking to close the gap further. Next man up for him is AJ in 7th place. Today still behind Andrex, not managed to find a way through yet, still very close behind though, and they're on the straight right now. But we do know that the Cadillac has that turbo-powered engine, which works slightly better around here. Not even slightly better, it works a lot better if you consider how well the Bentleys are doing right now. And once again, today, whoa, he's completely gone across the track there. That's going to be a penalty similar to the one that Jellyfish had, I would assume. Let's see if he slows down.
No, it sounds like he's got away with it.
Yep.
I think he may have slowed down enough, but I was watching that quite closely, and I think today he was trying to present himself in Andrex's mirrors to try and put him off. At the same time, started braking just as he was probably trying to come back onto the racing line, and well, the brakes on the Audi aren't amazingly fantastic, and yeah, I think he just missed the braking point, lost a bit of braking efficiency whilst turning, and decided to, instead of trying to slow the car down enough and risk making contact with Andrex, decided to just get out of the brakes and just go straight across the grass on
Massa in the pits again.
Massa
in the pits again. He pitted obviously at the end of lap 1, I believe, along with TonyR. He's come back in again with 16 laps. We're only on lap 6 or 7 now. TonyR, though, his teammate carrying on the track, and he's right at the back of Brownski and Nostra now.
Yep, sorry, that was a stop for pure damage as well. That was, he didn't change tyres. Highly doubt he took on any fuel. So that was pretty much just come to a standstill and then straight back out again, which is, yeah, signifies to me damage repair.
TonyR's managed to
get, yeah, and Nos just managed to get past as well as he goes a little bit deep into the left-hander, almost completely shutting the door on TonyR there. This is going to be an interesting battle coming down this back straight now as they come down the hill now into the dip and coming back up once again. Battle of two very big, heavy-hitting engines. And it looks like TonyR's picking up a slipstream. He is going to try and go for the inside move down into the braking zone. Braking a little bit later, going for that inside move now. Gets the car slowed down and hooked up onto the apex a little bit squirrely. Nos just trying to come back at him around the outside, giving each other racing room, which is good stuff. Nos just going to have the inside now. He's going to tuck him behind TonyR for the moment. Will he follow him through this final turn? He will. If he hangs tight onto the back of Tony's car, he may have a pretty good run coming up the hill towards turn 2, so he needs to get a good exit coming out of this first turn here that they're going through now. Get hard on the power, try not to take too much curb on the exit. Both of them doing that very nicely indeed. Nos just got to try and pick up and hope that he gets enough of a slipstream to pull the very big heavy SLS up the hill. TonyR staying over to the right hand side of the circuit, now moving over to the left, initially looking very defensive, and for the moment Nostra is going to stay behind Tony and follow him through.
Indeed. So let's take a look up the field. We still got Asia in 7th, Centre in 6th. Those running quite alone today also, with some clean air in front of me now after that mistake he made at the chicane a couple of laps ago. Andrex Because of that, of course, has been given a bit of relief of that pressure that he had on him, and he can just focus on not crashing now, basically. For at least the immediate future, which is always good around here. You don't really need a lot of battling going on and a lot of pressure from behind. It's hard enough just to the challenge of driving this track, keeping the focus, to not make any mistakes. But Andrex does make a mistake. He's completely lost his braking point at the chicane there. Gone straight on. Will he get a slowdown penalty from the game? He's definitely been passed by today, though. In the Audi, he's gone through. He doesn't get a more of a penalty, but it goes into the pits, actually, does Andrex. He's lost out there and then misses the pit entry. No, he doesn't. He managed to find his way back on after going briefly into the gravel. So this could be interesting to see where Andrex rejoins. Next car behind him is Sendro. He does not pit at this moment in time, so he's going to move up to 5th position. AJ got some time before the main straight still. I can see also stays out. TonyR, Nostra, the next after him to come on the main straight. So Hendrik still stationary in the pits as he loses out to AJ. And I'm seeing Jellyfish in the pits.
Yes, I just saw the same as well.
So something's happened to him, because he seemed to be in his garage and not only normally in the pit lane.
Oh, Pedro clipping the outside wall on the exit of the final turn. Just ran a little bit deep there on the exit and clipping the tyre barrier. He was pretty close to the back of Brownski, but he's gone and dropped a couple of seconds behind now. Andrex has rejoined in 9th position, ahead of Brownski and behind Nostra.
Oh, we got a bit of a BMW M3 battling. I think Blue Rat and Voice Guy have just been lapped by one of the Bentleys, potentially Kaki, the race leader, as they are battling it out for 18th. Okay, so they've been lapped by Mini Black. I saw a... Okay, so...
Kaki is up ahead. He's already gone through. The distance between Mini Black and Kaki at the moment is about the length of the start-finish straight.
Okay, yep. So, that's a pretty decent length straight. So, Kaki looking comfortable out in the lead. Right now, Ginger in the middle of the Bentley trio, of course, in 2nd place. And he's only about 4 or 5 seconds ahead of Mini Black, actually. As Mini Black also passes one of the BMW M3s. They're still holding station ahead of his teammate Miguel, but they've both gained a position there. 13th and 14th they're running now, so I wonder if someone's pitted maybe. We've got Silver Arrow and Maze in the final 2 points positions, and we got Tipple in the pits. Just on the exit now. Let's see, he's gonna come out next to Bentley, but Bentley's gonna be a lap ahead. He lets that go. So,
sorry, I was going to say, I believe there's more damage to Tipple's car. His front right isn't looking too great. There was a slight dislodgement of the front bumper initially, but now it's looking even more dislodged, so I'm guessing that is probably why Tipple pitted. So you can see in the background of the picture there as well, Pedro being hunted down pretty rapidly by F1 Massa as well. So yep. I believe this will probably be the next battle to watch out for.
I would have thought so. Obviously Pedro's Cadillac got the same advantage with the turbo-powered engine as Andrex does, but Massa, we know how fast he can be, and Pedro's run wide there through turn 2. A little bit on the curb and settling the car. He's going to just about hold on into turn 3 and 4 now, going up the hill. This is when we enter the tricky part of the track. I mean, the whole track is pretty tricky, but this is the part where the walls are just right next to you, and to be fast you have to really push the width of the track, of course, and see Pedro getting very, very close. Some very fast corners here as well. It's hard to just turn in slightly too late or slightly too early and mess up the line, but these guys doing it with no major dramas so far on this lap. But Pedro's going to see... Oh, as we got a BMW M3 just casually sitting on the side of the track there. There would have been a lap down, of course, on these guys.
It's AJ.
I believe. Oh, no, AJ actually. Oh, no, he would have been a lap down. It's the other M3s that are a lap down. Oh, that's such a painful situation. He's going to have to drive up to this... Oh, okay. Trying to turn it around.
He stalled it as well. That's not good.
Oh, go in before someone else comes down the hill.
Though.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's off.
Okay, there we go. He's dropped several positions out. That's 12th position. That's going to be painful, obviously, when you spin in a location like that, and you have the walls like that. It just always takes ages to get a car turned round.
Oh, dear me! Oh wow, he's gone and lost the front wheel. I don't believe... Did you see that, Matt?
No, I was
Tizzy?
just going back to watch the battle between Pedro and Massa.
Okay,
Just as
yeah,
he lost his wheel, apparently.
Yeah, as he was coming down the mountain section into the final left-hander before the back straight, he just lost the rear of the car. It spun round and hit the outside wall, which is very unfortunate. He lost the front tyre from that. He's gone and retired back to the pits, but I've now picked up the battle that you're on, which is Pedro and Massa. And Massa's getting a nice little tow as he come up down this first straight here, and it looks like Massa is going to breeze past Pedro. Yes, just about. Pedro backing in, slotting in behind Massa, which is probably the wiser thing to do, even though Pedro does have the turbo-powered car. It does seem that Massa is extracting an awful lot of pace out of the Aston Martin. And it does also mean that Pedro can follow Massa's lines and see where he can gain a little bit of time.
Kind of learn a little bit from the reigning champion, of course. So we come on to the big back straight here. Down towards the chase, and then turn 22. That doesn't have a name. So Massa now, can he pick up some slipstream down the straight? Is this the most natural overtaking position on the track, of course, but you got that kind of dodgy chase kink as we go through now. It's hard to be side by side there. Massa's not quite close enough to be side by side on this occasion, so Nostra is going to hold on in that Mercedes for a little bit longer in the battle for 8th position. Massa trying to find a way through. Nostra is going to go defensive into the final corner. Massa is going to have to pull out to the outside and is braking later, trying to go around the outside. Nostra on the curb there, he's going to lose some speed, and then Massa on the outside curb, losing even more speed. Maybe Pedro is going to get back into this a little bit here. But Massa failing to make the move there because of just running a little bit too deep. Once again, riding that curb hard. But this is where he passed Pedro, of course, on the previous lap, and he's going to have another go in the slipstream, cutting right up to the gearbox of that Mercedes. And he's going past on the straight, unless Nostra can be really, really late on the brakes into turn 2. He's not trying to be brave there. Probably a wise decision considering the track, and we still have quite a bit of laps yet to go, 8 to go, including this one. So Massa up to 8th position there in the race. And next up for him on the track will be Andrex, who's around 3, 4, 5 seconds in front.
So yeah, Nostra looking to be under threat from Pedro this time round. To come down this back straight, yes, Les will be punching quite a big hole for Pedro to sit in as we come down. Pedro braking very, very late on the brakes coming into this corner. I think Nostra may have just let Pedro go through. It seemed like...
Hard to say, it was a huge difference in braking power there for sure. Pedro's steaming down the inside and Nostra not putting up too much of a fight by the looks of it, but you know, you never know what Nostra's intentions are, whether he kind of felt like it was a lost cause considering how much Pedro had been hassling him throughout the course of that lap. Either way though, interesting braking maneuver there from Pedro and up to 9th. So Nostra, luckily for him though, he's got a pretty healthy gap behind to Brownski. So he's a favourite, I would say, to hold on to that 10th position, but you never know. With this track, suddenly it throws you into the wall and you're going to have to do it all over again.
Yep, I'm just having a quick flick through at the top 3. Karki's just gone over the start-finish line. Dinder is now coming underneath the bridge down towards the final turn. He's got Maisie just in front of him, a lap down. Jesus, they got very, very close there as they came into the final turn. But Dinder just about managing to avoid making contact with the back of Maisie's Janetta. Now this will be a huge speed difference coming up down this straight. I'm actually watching this just to see difference in power between the Bentley and also the Gently, the Janetta, sorry.
The Gently.
The Gently Janetta.
What a gentle way to let the lead car through.
Yes, so Dinder through quite cleanly. He's got some damage to the back of his car, which I believe has been there since the start of lap 1. Mini Black isn't too far behind him, running in 3rd position. Blue Rat's running in 18th position, and he has Today coming up behind him. Blue Rat gets very, very sideways and dips over onto the grass. Got plenty of room behind him though, so he should rejoin the track relatively smoothly.
Yeah, well, if you're going to spin, at least do it there, because there's not a wall there.
Yes. Who are you trying to watch at the moment, Fizzy?
No, just trying to find someone who's close. It's kind of spread out a little bit. I mean, we got, of course, up at the front, we got Mini Black running not too far behind Dinda. I think that might just be... Oh, and he's coming up to lap a rough right now as well. Right at the bottom of the hill, luckily onto the straight for him though, so this should be an easy place to for the rough to lane past. Yeah, you can really see Dinda ahead of him. It's only a couple of seconds. So this might just be the closest physical battle on the track right now. I believe Mikal is a couple of seconds behind Silver Arrow in the battle for 12th position, with Macy a further couple of seconds behind that, so that might be worth keeping an eye on. Progress, but yeah, it's kind of spread out a little bit now. Obviously, it was so chaotic at the start of the race with everyone just scrambling together, and unfortunately there seems to have been a bit of lag again. But yeah, obviously as the race goes on, people make mistakes, and it's a race of attrition, as it always is around Bathurst. People make mistakes, and it's usually, you know, a case of if you get through the race with, you know, not too many major issues, then you usually end up getting some good points at the end of the day. So the Bentleys, that can certainly be said for them. They have both had a pace with that added engine performance with the turbo, and of course not having made a mistake. I mean, you can't only put it down to the car, because they have to drive the track just as much as anyone else, and they haven't made any mistakes so far this race that we've seen anyway. Certainly still running seemingly without damage in the top 3. So good job. Oh, and as I say that, Mini Black just taps the wall there going up the hill, but
commentator's curse.
Yeah, sorry about that, Mini Black, I didn't mean to. You seem to be running fine. Still down behind him. Who was that? One of the Mercedes cars. Oh, yeah, and he's got Mick Alpha Company. So this is the battle for 12th that I was just mentioning that might spice up, and I think he might just have done there. And Silver Arrow not carrying the best amount of speed down the hill there. This is the most tricky part of the track, and Silver has lost it into the wall. He's going to lose out to Macy as well, is he? Yes, he is. Just backing out of it there, just to make sure to not get in Macy's way, really, considering he lost so much speed from touching the wall. So that is a mistake from Silver Arrow. It's literally the thing, you can run a solid race and then suddenly one slip of concentration and you're in the wall and you drop several positions or get damaged or whatever, and Silver Arrow's dropped from 12th down to 14th in just a space of a blink of an eye on that occasion.
But that will probably close up in the last couple of laps as well. Actually, let's do something that I haven't done this race so far, and let's take a look at the lap times of the guys. So yeah, Massa is lapping about quite a bit faster than Andrex, about 8/10 of a second quicker at the moment.
Move going on, just while you check that, for 5th position, TonyR is passing Centro on the inside line into turn 1 there. We go on to the 3rd to last lap. Pretty standard move up the inside, got a better run on the penultimate, or the final corner on the previous lap, and just made it work under braking. Centro dropping in position. TonyR, you would have thought, given that he's been catching up to him, that he has the pace now to pull away, barring any further mistakes in the race.
Really, most people have dropped off the pace that they had set at their fastest, apart from Andrex, who did his fastest lap on the previous lap, 203.8. Most of the guys are running either 203s, 205s, 206s, and it gets down to the 207s and 208s as you move further down the field. Fastest lap at the moment is by Kaki with 201. As Kaki actually goes and clips the wall a little bit there. So
yeah, he's got
even
some scrapes on his right side now.
Yeah, even he isn't having a totally 100% clean races. He actually goes and clips the wall a little bit harder.
Oh, not again, Kaki, man. Remember the last race, take it easy, you have a big gap.
Exactly, yeah, he's got quite a decent gap to Dinda in 2nd place. He's being once again hunted down by Mini Black as Dinda goes and clips the wall in pretty much exactly the same spot as Kaki did. Hopefully you'll have a cleaner run through this. No, he once again clips the wall in exactly the same place that Kaki did. The two teammates mirroring each other as they come across up on a mountain section. Kaki's down in the bottom dip, coming. Actually, no, he's gone back up the hill. Nope, he's coming back up the hill now. Sorry, down the back straight.
He's not turned around and driven back up the hill, I hope.
No. He's going in the right direction. He's closing up on one of the back of the M3s as he'll be coming through the last sequence of corners. Back marker moving well out of his way, taking to the grass and letting Kaki through. And Kaki is now going to come through the final turn to start the last lap of the race. And I'm sure many people will be relieved to hear that.
But Mikhail and Maisie, the only two guys that I can see that are pretty close to getting on track right now. That's the battle for 12th position. Mikhail just a second or so ahead. But I think, given how dominant he's been in this race, that we're going to stay on board with Kaki for the final half of the race. Half the lap, I mean. Coming up to the back marker, actually. So hopefully no late dramas that's going to happen there. I think he's going to catch up to him on the straight. A little bit of a twitch going down the hill there from Kaki even. But he's managed to save it, and now has passed the mountain for the final time. 22 times they've gone up and down there in the race, and Kaki will be pleased to know that he only now has a straight, a chicane, and a pretty standard left-hand corner. Goes through on the back marker. Pretty damaged on my screen anyway. Mercedes there. You would have thought that the Mercedes has been in the pits and fixed that at some point, but Kaki dominant this race. He obviously had his chance to win last time out at Laguna Seca, threw that away with a huge mistake, losing his head a little bit while challenging Massa for that top position. But now he's going to come around the final corner, bouncing back here in his Bentley with a win at Bathurst for himself and his team, of course. Very impressive race by him. And 35 points, I believe it is, for a win in his league now.
Mini Black's ahead of Dinder. Mini Black's ahead
Oh
of Dinder.
no, we missed it
towards the final chicane. Yeah, we did miss that. I guess Dinder may have made a mistake coming down the hill somewhere. Mini Black slipped himself up into second position. Dinder is now in third place, just behind him. Dinder's actually looking rather twitchy under brakes and into the turning of the chicane, so I believe he's got a load of damage. Mini Black will be pretty pleased with that result, coming away in second, and obviously fantastic stuff for the Bentley team, coming away with a first, second and third position, completely locking out and dominating that podium. So very good. Well, it's basically the best points haul that they could possibly get, and on an absolutely blindingly difficult track to do it on as well. Manu is now coming down into the final turn. He'll be taking fourth position. It's just the position counters going a little bit funny as today does a nice.
He's happy with it.
Yes,
by the looks of it.
Over the start finish line. So
good debut for him.
Yeah, very good result for his debut. And Nostra is not in fifth. Neither is Brownski. Neither is Mikhail or Maisie.
TonyR, I believe, is in fifth.
It is TonyR, yes.
Just crossed the line there to take fifth
position,
and then we're gonna have Nostra. No, he's still not in fifth.
Nope.
Centro's coming in fifth. Then I believe we have Andrex.
Then Andrex.
He's the next man.
And then
last cars crossing the line, confusing the scoreboard here. And then, of course, the championship leader, Massa, who's going to drop some points as he spins across the line very beautifully. Fantastic style there from the reigning champion as well. Going to have P8 in the race. He's still going to have a solid lead at the top of the championship, but not quite a race he would have wanted. He was one of the ones that got caught in that huge amount of banging that went on at the start of the race.
Kaki comes away with the race win with Mini Black in second, Dinder in third position. Today in fourth, TonyR in fifth, sixth is Centro, Andrex in seventh, Massa in eighth, Pedro picked up ninth position, and Nostra round out the top 10. Brownski, Mikhail, Maisie came home in 11th, 12th, 13th respectively. Nesterovic in 14th, 15th was Ycoms, Tipple in 16th. Blue Rat in 17th, just missing out on the points, the final points position. Silverarrow in 18th, Vice Guy in 19th, and then we had 5 non-finishers.
Yeah, we did start here with a full grid, of course. For the first time this season, all 24 drivers on the grid, but unfortunately 5 of them not making it to the end due to various reasons. So, well, it's an interesting one for the championship. Kaki was 6th in the championship going into this. We don't really have the standings. You know, it's a bit hard to work out in our head, but he's certainly gonna catch and go ahead of Nesterovic and Tipple, I'm pretty sure, in this championship. Those were the 2 drivers ahead of him. Probably, yeah, it's going to be too far up though to TonyR and Brownski, I believe. So they're going to hold on to second and third, and Mouse are retaining the lead. But the gap's going to close down a little bit because Tony was in second and he finished ahead of Mouse here. It's going to be a little bit less than 41 points now for Mouse at the top. I think that's pretty much enough said for this one. We're halfway through the season now. 5 out of 10 rounds done and dusted. So next week we are going to be, let me bring the calendar up. We're going to be at Watkins Glen. That's a bit of a more familiar track for these guys. Obviously Bathurst, very tricky circuit, and the first time ever in this league that has been used, whereas Watkins Glen is one we've been at on several occasions, I believe at least twice in the first 3 seasons. And I believe, I have the feeling that it's a track that the drivers tend to enjoy.
Yeah, I'd say so. There's good opportunity for some overtakes. Cars should be pretty reasonably balanced there as well, so I doubt we'll see the Bentley domination that we saw today, this week.
But Yoki, do you have any final words for tonight?
Nope, not really. Other than thanks very much for tuning in. Thank you for bearing with us with all the technical difficulties that we had, and hopefully next week should go a lot smoother like it has done in the past. So make sure you tune in to Fizzy's stream on twitch.tv/FizzyFan91 at 8 PM UK time for Watkins Glen round 6.
Yes, indeed. And follow us on Twitter, of course, if you feel like it, at FizzyFan91 and at Yorkie065. Check out our YouTube channels, of course, as well. So thanks to everyone who stuck with us in the stream, and we will see you next week. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.